One part of one bill has become the focal point of the State House. Basically, Republicans are for it and Democrats are against it, with a few wild cards thrown in the mix. For example, Secretary of State John Husted, a Republican, is against it.
One of the few occasions, Joe, you'll ever hear me say this. I agree with John Husted.
The Democrats see it as racial and an attempt to limit voters.
This is a concerted effort by the Kasich administration and those very hard right-wing members of the GOP caucus in the Senate to, one, disenfranchise voters, to affect the outcome and the turnout as it relates to the repeal of Senate Bill 5, and it's about ownership of the Republican caucus.
The Republicans say photo IDs should be required to prevent voter fraud.
People need IDs to get on an airplane, buy cigarettes if they're a certain age, buy alcohol in many places. So expecting somebody to have a photo ID to carry out their civic duty of voting, I do not think is a overly oppressive requirement.
But those opposed to having to produce photo identification say more than 10% of eligible voters don't have them, but use other forms of ID such as utility bills to serve as an ID. Most of those, the Democrats say, are poor or minority. A retired federal judge was brought in to testify against the proposed change this morning.
The contention is that requiring everyone to have a photo ID is race neutral. But that's been true of all the efforts made to dilute votes going back to the Civil War. The grandfather clause, the poll tax, the literacy test.
A vote could come tomorrow. In Columbus, I'm Mike Bowersock, NBC4.